Welcome back, family, to Believe University, a place where we dream big but believe even bigger. I'm your host, Burkeet, aka Queen Bee in the building, and today I have two very special guests. Welcome, Ellis. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Rumies.
What's up? What's up, Rumi?
Like I literally just seen you. How you guys feeling?
Good.
Yeah.
Good day.
That didn't
How
sound
you feeling?
too sure, you know? Like,
you know, it's a good day. It's a good day.
It's a good day.
We alive and breathing.
I'm feeling great.
yeah?
Fantastic.
Have y'all ever been on a podcast?
No, no, not officially. This is my first podcast, like at least video podcast.
Hey, let's go.
So it's new.
Yeah.
New.
I've been on two.
Oh.
I bet.
During 2020, so they were like Zoom calls.
Yeah.
But I love podcasts.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm excited.
Do you guys listen to podcasts? No.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I love podcasts.
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
There's one called Dissect. I'm a big music guy, and Dissect is all about breaking down albums and the creative vision behind certain words and the samples and how it ties into a greater narrative. It's cool. Dissect.
I need to listen to that podcast, period. Thank you for putting me on.
I'm a movie guy.
Oh, yeah.
So
Makes sense, because you know, music, movies.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys both do it all.
Right.
Still.
So my favorite podcasts are The Town, which is specifically about Hollywood.
Okay.
And another one called Script Notes, where it's about screenwriters, helping out screenwriters with screenwriting advice and tips. And so I'm like, I'm definitely much more on the movie side of podcasts.
Yeah.
When I do listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Okay. Perf. I kind of want to start off with like an intro. I like for my guests to introduce themselves, you know? So who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay. Come on, Ellis. Big E.
What's up, y'all? My name is Ellis. I am the writer, director, producer,
Okay.
editor of Game Night.
Woo woo.
And I am really excited to talk about the movie. And I'm excited to share the movie with people. And I'm excited that I get to be here doing it with Joshua.
Oh. And then all of a sudden, can we talk a little bit about that? Come on.
Yeah.
Production
Man,
company.
I didn't know how in depth I wanted to go.
Exactly. But I got you with the follow-up.
I appreciate that. I also have my own production company, All of a Sudden Productions.
Whoop, whoop.
Shout out to the merch right
Yeah. Okay, come on.
now. To merch.
His last name's Sun too, so
Yeah.
it's like play on words.
Shout out to my dad, my father, Ellis Craig Sutton, who came up with that.
Shout out
catchy
Pops. Come on.
name. Shout out Pops. That was just a way for me to get all of the things that I work on in a consolidated place. I was like, you know what? Let me make this official. Let me get a little name, you know, and let me attach myself as a director and producer on things that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And say, yo, this is an All of a Sudden production now because your boy's a part of it.
Yeah.
And so it was really a way to have a home for music videos that I made, short films that I made, and hopefully one day features and TV shows. So just wait on that.
Yeah, come on. You hear it first on Believe University.
Yes. Come on now. And I'm really excited to have more movies to be a part of and work with a lot of great people. More to come.
Yeah.
More to come.
Sorry, I'm gonna get to you, Joshua. But
No,
I just need to ask, like, why movies? Do you just like storytelling? Were you always just great at directing? Like,
Well, no, I wasn't always great at directing. Okay. I started really directing when I was in college. I discovered it like midway through my time in college.
oh wow.
Yeah. I really didn't have much of a filmmaking experience before that. I saw a bunch of kids at college making movies. I said, maybe I can do that.
Did you major first? Like,
I was a history major at first. Wow. My first 2 years of college, I went to the University of San Francisco, studied history, thinking I was going to go to law school and do.
Same.
Lord knows what. Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, no, I literally wanted to go.
Shout out to trying to go to law school, man. We tried. And then I transferred to USC, still a history major.
Wow.
And thinking, all right, we'll go to law school. At least we'll have a good time in college.
I mean, USC, come on.
Yeah, come on now.
Go Trojans.
Fight on. But then I saw a bunch of kids making movies, and I said, well, I've always been someone who is enjoyed visual storytelling. Visuals in general, I've always been a visual learner.
Same.
Like I like to see it. And so I think that's why I've always been able to gravitate towards movies and TV too, but definitely movies. I think what I appreciate about the medium of a movie is, and it can be really challenging to do a complete story, beginning, middle, and end, whatever period of time like you have. And so, whether that's mostly a feature where it says like, you got to tell a complete story within like 90 minutes to 2 hours, sometimes 2.5, sometimes 3. I think that can be like really, really challenging. And then even in a short where you have to try to do a beginning, middle, and end in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes even 5 or 20. I think that is also really challenging. But I think when done well, you can create really captivating stories in the perfect amount of time that they need to be told. And so I think the challenge of movie making, I think, is something that's always appealed to me.
Yeah. And you do short films, so it's like even shorter. And you still do such an amazing job, like with the plot twist and everything. We'll definitely get into it, but it's crazy. So just imagine like a full like.
And I think just to that point quickly, like I think that it's hard to. Sometimes you think like, oh well, if I have more time, then I can explain that. But like sometimes it's hard to think about what if you have only 15 minutes and you've told your story. It can be hard to expand it. We might not need 90 minutes, right? You might have done it all in 15.
Yeah.
And I think that again, like the challenge of finding the right length for movies for your specific story, not just movie, but your story, I think is crucial in the filmmaking process.
I agree, because these movies nowadays be way too long.
They be too long. They be too long.
I'm like, bruh, this could have been like a cool hour and a half.
There's an article where this guy basically told like movie directors like your movies are too long, and he basically implied in the article that like audiences know when they're watching it how long a movie should be. Mentally, they in their head they have an idea of like when it should end, and that's typically around the 90-minute to like 2-hour mark. And so when it goes beyond that, people are looking at their watches. They're getting a little antsy.
That part.
People, we're kind of wired to have our movies be that long, and so when they're longer than that, you notice it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you probably don't need all that time to tell that movie.
And nowadays, I feel like everyone has such a short attention span, so it's like, why are the movies longer?
Right, why are they longer?
They don't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. So you know that they're too long.
Yeah.
And I think that someone needs to tell all these writers and directors in Hollywood, your movies are too long.
Yeah, I think it's just to have the budget for it, so they're just like, let's just, I don't know,
throw money at it.
Exactly. But okay, thank you, Ellis.
Yeah, of course.
Such a great
Anytime.
intro.
I appreciate that.
I'm here all weekend. Okay, now you, Josh.
Yeah, I'm
Come on.
Josh.
Yeah.
Professionally known as Jasper Ross.
Okay.
A little
That's
thing.
stage name?
What are you formerly known
Or
as?
before, yeah, come on, because I've known you as like so many.
Yeah, no, I had a
names.
crazy name journey. So like I was born Joshua Smith.
Okay. Shout out
my
Mama Dukes.
government.
Shout out Pops.
Shout
Again.
out Pops,
On the ID.
shout out Mom. But it was a great name to, I guess, apply for jobs and fit into the mold of things. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I'm San Jose. We're both from Bay Area.
Oh my, yeah.
Tech
Family in the
industry's
Bay
big.
too.
So
Yeah.
my mom and my dad, they were really big on like, how can we accelerate your success when you have all these potential prejudices and stereotypes and things going on working against you. So I got Joshua Smith. And it was great.
It's a great name.
I ended up as a creative. It's not the most creative name, doesn't cut through the search engine, you know what I mean? So I had to think of something else. I went by a rapper named Josh throughout most of high school.
Okay.
Got
So
rid
you
of
were
that.
making
Wait,
music
a
in high
rapper
school?
named Josh?
A rapper named Josh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like a pimp named Slickback.
Essentially. So I did that, and then I switched to Clarence the Kid once I got to college.
Okay.
Making music under that for probably 5 years or so.
Sheesh.
And that was a very experimental time, I feel like, in my musical journey. I was trying out a lot of different styles. I was taking risks and really just kind of developing. And so then it got to a point where I was like, okay, this music thing is cool, but I do want to kind of branch out and do other things like movies and modeling and acting and just run the gambit of creative endeavors. So
Yeah.
I felt like Clarence the Kid, when I was looking at a movie credit at the end of the thing, I was like, I don't think I want that on the screen. Like, I'd rather it be almost like a first name, last name, an alternate persona.
Yeah. Like Donald Glover.
Exactly. He's a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
And so I chose Jasper Ross, Joshua Aaron Smith is Jas, Jasper. And then I just like shopping at Ross. We was actually just at Ross. Not even 30 minutes
actually
ago.
just we were just at Ross.
Really?
Yeah.
Right
Bro,
down the
I
block.
grew
right
up
over there.
going
Yeah.
to Ross. My mom would stay at Ross for hours.
You can't beat it.
No,
the
literally,
deals are
it's-
impeccable.
Pretty sure
No.
I bought this off
The jack-
from Ross.
Come on,
Drip
Ross.
come from
Yeah.
Ross.
Sponsor us, Ross.
Exactly.
Drip
On
for
a
less.
budget. Drip for less.
Drip for less.
Drip
I
for
love
less.
Bruh,
Drip
come on.
For less.
Shout out Ross. I'm gonna need that check though. So yeah, that's kind of how that started. I forget the original part of the question. Oh,
This
your
is
name.
just-
This is
your
just my
intro.
intro.
Come
Great,
on.
cool. There's my intro. So moving into exploring different realms of creativity, right? I started acting a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Cameoed in a couple of his earlier films.
Yeah.
Worked on a couple music video sets, and I've always been very drawn to visual storytelling along with music, and trying to figure out how to balance the two. Because obviously you can tell incredible stories. One of those albums that really formed me early on was Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. And as you're listening to that album, you can almost visually see it playing out as a movie.
No, true.
You can, yeah.
The best albums are always like from start to
Yeah.
finish telling a story. Yeah.
Exactly. So taking that and then also just being a fan of different movies and animation styles and visual storytelling, I said, how can I take the messages and stories I'm telling in my song and my music and then visualize it in music videos and other formats. So I worked really hard at just becoming familiar with the filmmaking process, how to use the camera, how to shoot things
Cinematically.
Thank you.
There you go.
That's what I'm
And editing it down
Yeah.
and like learning Premiere and getting all these things.
Oh yeah, Premiere.
Premiere, yes. Shout out to Premiere. There's a lot of shout outs on this.
I know.
episode. If you haven't figured that out by now. Now you
Exactly.
know.
Takes a village.
It does. It
does.
does. So I really just dove into that, and then as time went on, eventually, Ellis and I just said, okay, let's stop playing around and let's make something for ourselves.
At that part.
And now here we are with a new movie.
And what'd you
There
do
was
on
a
this
movie.
movie? What'd you do on this movie?
Oh yeah. I am an actor.
Yeah.
I am a co-writer. I am a co-editor of sorts. I produced as well. I'm all over the movie. It's so many roles that I just lose track of them. But that's
Helped out on the music.
Yeah, the music. I heard it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was like that. I hear Clarence. Let me stop. But Jasper,
Yeah, no, we're balling on a budget.
Yeah.
It's a short film, independent filmmaking.
it was great. It was amazing.
You gotta learn what you gotta learn to make it happen.
Yeah,
So,
no, yeah,
we
and I
did that.
commend you guys,
Thank you.
like, cause I would see you literally come home from like long days
Yes.
and like just put in the work, like
Yes.
for y'all individual projects, and yeah, like, bravo.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's tough. Some days, I want to go home and sleep. And some days I do that.
Yeah, trust too. Not.
But, we knew that we had to finish this movie at some point in time. And so there's no time like the present.
True.
So sometimes it was just like, hey, man, I'm free, you're free. Let's just hammer this out. And that was a lot of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the movie.
Let's talk about
Game
what
night.
we came here for. Yeah.
Okay, so when did you guys start? Like, when was it first an idea?
We were talking about this earlier. I think it was about April of 2022,
Okay.
but we didn't formally start writing until like late May
Yeah, late May.
of 2022.
Yeah.
But you still were guys, like, you guys were on it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people like, oh, I have a great idea. I still have a great idea.
Right.
It's a whole year, But-
I think for me when after we had finished Good Grief and Josh, that was the first movie that I had directed. There, Josh had a more prominent role other than fade into the background. And
Watch that.
everyone should also watch Good Grief.
Yeah, Good Grief is great. That was the first one. I was just like, oh my God, I have such talented roommates. Like, you guys are great. Like, come on.
Shout out Good Grief.
Where can they find it?
Oh yeah, you can check out Good Grief on many places. You can
Period.
catch it on my website, allofasuddenproductions.com.
Period.
Go to projects. You can find Good Grief there. You can find it's find it on Vimeo, my Vimeo page, Ellis J. Sutton. And then you can also find it on Film Shortage. It got online premiered on Film Shortage.
Ooh.
So those are places to find Good Grief. Okay. And while we were on and on Good Grief, Josh did such a great job acting that I went to Josh. I think I went to you or whatever. Maybe it was mutual. It was like we should like get you in a movie, like a proper movie, and not just be the side piece.
He finally threw me a bone.
And Josh is a great performer. But for me as a writer and storyteller, I really like to craft stories around people. And because I feel like if people have a more personal connection, they might be able to perform in it better.
Oh, 100%. And the audience, I feel like, can receive it better too.
100%.
It's so relatable.
The more you can create, I think the more you can try to figure out ways to create authentic experiences in the writing and the storytelling, and then you can find actors who can perform to those experiences. I think you're going to ultimately get, you have a better shot at getting a more authentic product, which will ring true when it's all said and done. And so, like Good Grief is based on a true story with Arita, who stars, co-wrote, and acted in the movie.
That's crazy. I had a feeling it was giving like true story or like based.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing with Game Night. I don't know. I was gonna ask, but is
And
that?
so,
There was some real life inspiration here and there. Yeah.
the inspiration came on Josh's end.
I was gonna ask, so thank you. So I was like,
And so Josh and I were spitballing some ideas, and then we stumbled upon this one based on some experiences that he had.
okay.
And I said, okay, well let's unpack this. Like let's have more conversations.
Yes.
And so and then I think that took the conversation bit took a long time, and then formulating a cohesive story
Script, yeah, and everything. Yeah.
also took a while.
Yeah.
Before the
I was
scripts.
good. Yeah, before the script.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
we had
Can you like
outlines
break
and
down?
outlines.
Because I don't know that much about like
Yeah.
that whole
Well, why don't you talk
process of the
about
film.
the process?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least how we did it for this film. It started off with, those initial phone calls, trying to figure out what is our overarching story, what are some of those points that we want to hit, how do we want this to resolve. And then we also took inspiration from a lot of well-made films or TV shows. We were talking about Atlanta, Everything Everywhere All at Once had just come out as well.
Prestige we talked about.
We talked about. So
I
a
need
lot
to
of
watch
movies
all of these,
that
but-
were creative in the way that they delivered a story, but also creative in the way that they kind of revealed certain things to you. It wasn't just like, we're here. You have to pick up clues along the way. So then we're trying to figure out, okay, what are some of these clues that could point our audience in the right direction without giving away the entire plot, the punchline. So after about maybe 8 months of that, probably 6, we started putting the pen to paper and actually putting out a script.
Okay.
And so Ellis did most of the actual formalized writing of the script, and then we go back and forth and be like, oh, okay, let's maybe switch out this line or let's put this piece around. And we just kind of kept going from there, and it was being pretty much edited till the day of the shoot.
So wait, when did you guys shoot it? After like
March 3rd
of
Fourth?
2023?
March 3rd, 2023.
Okay.
2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it took you guys, makes sense, like
Yeah.
the rest of 2022 to like finalize the script and then, yeah, okay. And then you shot it and then been editing
ever
it.
since.
Yeah.
To this day.
To this day.
Still editing it.
Still
Yes.
editing it.
Yes. Final touches. We're like
Final, yeah.
99.783%.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 I'm a
By the time you all see this, it will be done.
Very
Okay.
much done. If it's not, it's a
wait,
problem.
because when is it going to be released? Actually, like I actually kind of need to know this so that I can.
We haven't discussed it.
Yeah, well, it's still going. It's going to be going through a film festival run, as short films often do. So we're gonna try to get it into some film festivals to play there.
Yeah, like name some because I don't
Like there's like the biggest one.
Sundance.
Like Sundance is like a really big one,
Oh,
right?
that's the only one I know.
Yeah, that's the one a lot of people know. And it's also really hard to get into.
Okay.
It's like the Harvard of film festivals, so don't bank on getting into Sundance.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Game night's there for sure though.
Yeah. Shout out Sundance.
Yeah.
We.
I honestly might just okay.
But other ones, other smaller ones. We hopefully we can get into, have the movie play in front of people.
Yeah.
And then release it online.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then have everyone else see it too.
Yeah.
But we're going to premiere the movie
Yeah.
Saturday. Should we say this Saturday? I don't know when this is going to air.
Yeah, you can say this. Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
We're going to premiere the movie with our friends and family and
Cast and crew.
cast and
March
crew.
16th. You know.
March 16th. Yeah. And so we're excited. We're excited to do that.
You know, in Netflix. Come on, period.
Oh yeah, at Netflix.
Yeah.
At
That's just nothing too big.
nothing crazy. Just Netflix screening room. Like,
Yeah.
Some
You guys are
slight.
so humble. I can't.
Some slight.
Yeah.
That answers the question, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, let's talk a little bit about what game night. Like, if you want.
Yeah.
To like, because I don't want to spoil anything. Like,
Right.
So
good.
So I would say that game night is about this couple, Jas and Liz, and they are at a point in their relationship where it's I would say a lot of relationships. Typically, we can name them now as like situationships. Are
Trust me.
after right.
My entire love life. But okay.
Oh.
We'll unpack that later.
We'll unpack that later. Different podcast.
Wait, no. Okay.
Wait. You know, you've been dating for a few months, and then you sort of get to like this, like, what are we phase? Like, what is going on here? And so as Liz may be going over there to figure it out, she ends up running into Jas having a game night planned with him and some friends. And so he wasn't not looking to have a conversation about what are we that night. He was looking to do some other things amongst playing board games. And so over the course of the game night, you start to learn about Jas and his other friends who he has, including a couple named Nikki and Carlos. And then you start to learn about like why it's been taking them so long to have that conversation. For both parties.
Yes.
And hopefully we do it in a way that surprises but mostly entertains.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
So I would say that's the movie, right?
That's the gist. Yeah.
That's the gist,
Just
yeah.
People trying to figure out how to connect with each other and bring up sometimes these conversations that are tough to have.
Exactly.
And just getting to the bottom of it. So that's what it is.
And we get to the bottom of it.
We do.
Certainly do.
We do.
Certainly do.
We do.
Yeah, so it was amazing, guys. You guys have to go and watch it. And then also, I want you guys to drop a comment and tell me what your favorite part was.
Yes.
And
a lot of good part. A lot to pick from.
Oh, 100%. It was like just punches back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy.
We're in like the editing it all the time,
Yeah.
and so Josh knows this. I'm always like not aware when things land or don't land, or if things are moving slow or fast. So I don't always have like a good pulse on it because I'm watching the movie so many times,
and then different like edits,
Right.
like
Different versions
of it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you just don't always know how it lands for you. So to hear, you feel like it moved really well and you liked it, and there were some good twists and turns. Really gratifying, super satisfying.
I love plot twists. I think that's what makes a movie for me. And actually, Faith watched it with me. No, you don't even need to come on camera. Like, just tell me what was like your favorite part.
I love that you're looking in one direction and you can like slowly piece things together. You're feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
And then there's like a misdirection. And
and then it just hits you.
It's interesting. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And then everyone's facial expressions, also the way like it's filmed.
Filmed.
Is very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All the
Shout out
actors
Yorgo.
did their big ones.
I love Ellis's cameo.
Oh yeah, there's the
Spoiler alert.
One time.
Yeah, that's the one spoiler alert we'll give you guys. Yeah.
In the movie, gave myself a cameo.
It's just
She's just excited. She's excited. She had a good time.
Get
it was
it,
a
get it.
great,
Yeah.
Great.
yeah,
Phenomenal.
phenomenal
Thank
job, guys. Woo! Okay, is there anyone you guys want to shout out that like isn't here that actually helped with you like the film and the whole process? Or is
Shout
it-
out to just the whole team behind it. We had a great camera team.
Yeah.
We had a great cast of actors and extras that showed up.
Woo.
Just volunteering their
You guys had
time.
extras too. Come
Yeah,
on.
you know, and it's
whole
always
thing.
great to just have people come in and say like, you know, I'm just gonna help you out with whatever crazy dream you have and make it happen. So, shout out all of them.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone who donated
Oh, that's
and
dope.
helped fund, you know, all of our expenses.
Yeah.
And that's my very broad list of shout outs
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah, for now.
But yeah, there's a lot of people. It takes a village to make a movie
100%.
or anything, you know.
It's giving dream team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Alice, is there anyone that he missed that you?
Not specifically. I think we had. I will personally shout as the director of this movie. You know, you'll see my name at the forefront of it. But I could not have made this movie without the cast and crew who were involved in it. Like, there's no way it gets to that quality without all these people involved.
That part.
And as much as this is my movie, I think it's also Josh's baby too.
Woo!
And so,
Co-parenting.
and so, shout out to Joshua
Come
for
on.
doing such a great job
Aw.
producing this movie.
I love this. This is so not the. I love when you do that.
I'm sorry.
Not the
I'm
fun.
sorry.
It makes you shy.
But we had a great team. I mean,
Yeah.
shout out to Arita who produced this movie too.
Come on, Rita.
Shout out to
Period.
Abel, Abel's been working on movies with me since I picked up a camera for like the first time. Like, Abel gave me his camera
Yeah.
when I said I wanted to go into filmmaking when I was in college, and we made a movie in his garage.
Oh wow.
And Abel's been on my movies ever since.
Come on.
So shout out to Abel.
He sounds Habesha, so like, period.
He is.
He is.
He is,
Yeah,
he
I was
is.
like, come on, Abel.
He's retreating. Yeah. Shout out
The
Abel.
only, the weekend. That's thank you.
yeah. And then shout out to Yorgo, our cinematographer.
Whoop, whoop.
That's why the movie looks so great.
Oh, it's fire.
Shout out to Fia for coloring the movie. That's why that looks so pretty. And shout out to our actors.
Yeah.
They did a great job in performing all these roles, making them as believable as possible. And anyone else I missed, you any role that anyone had. Oh, shout out to Sharif.
Ooh.
Yo, for
Sharif
Last
on
but
the
not
sound.
least.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Killed it. If you guys hear the movie and you're like, why does it sound so great? That's Sharif.
Yeah. Period.
He did that. He did that.
You need to watch it again on like a bigger screen.
Yeah.
Like, really-
Shout out to Stevie. Shout out to Stevie. Did the music.
Okay, come on.
I don't want to go through the whole list of credit. Shout out to Stevie and Mark.
Mark, come on.
And Mark. Shout out to Mark. Marky Mark. Stevie
Giving the
Wonder and
Oscar
Marky Mark.
speech. I love it.
Yeah.
Come on.
getting played off now.
Getting played off.
I love
Exactly.
this. No, it's for sure. Come on. Better
Come on now.
manifest.
But I just want to make sure, if I didn't get everyone, you all appreciate
He
it.
loves you guys.
I do. I really do. Couldn't done it without you.
That part. And last question. What's a piece of advice that you would give someone who, is also a creative, but they're like maybe back home, not around other creatives, but they want to? Like maybe it doesn't have to be film
Sure.
per se, but yeah.
Why don't you go? I'll go.
I guess for me, the advice I'd give is just jump into anything you want to do wholeheartedly. There are always going to be obstacles to making or creating something, whether that's I don't have the money, I don't have the network, I don't have the resources. Even when you make it, you could have all the money in the world, but you still have to go through legal teams to clear someone to be a part of your project and everything like that. So really just kind of sitting with yourself, reassuring yourself that you are capable of success. And then, this is Believe University, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta
I
believe in
believe.
yourself and your capabilities. And I guess the other thing would just be don't be afraid to fail along the way.
Yeah.
This is the biggest and craziest thing I've ever been a part of in my life. It's been mostly music and music videos up until this point. I've never been so thoroughly involved in something before, and there was a lot of things that I had to learn on the fly.
Yeah.
YouTube University.
Yeah, YouTube. I'm a YouTube University kid at heart. Come on.
Come on now.
Just figuring things out and enjoying the process, and that's only going to make you an even more valuable asset later on in your career, because you'll know how to talk about these things with the professionals who actually do it for their living. I'm not going to be an editor for the rest of my life, but I know how to communicate those things to an editor.
Ooh,
Exactly.
that part.
So
That's
I
why you
think
do
those are
everything.
you do everything.
Do everything, yeah.
Become familiar with the whole process, and then once you get to that point where you can kind of let the reins go on some of the things, you can be confident that you're going to help push the project in the direction you want to be pushing in. So.
Yes.
That's good advice.
No L's, just lessons. I love that. That was amazing. Ellis?
I guess maybe to tack on to that without being redundant.
No, do it.
I would say to be creative, I think you got to be curious. I think
Write that down.
Write that down. That was a gem, y'all. Okay.
write that one down.
Come on, Ellis.
I think what I mean by being curious, like figuring out what it is you want to do by trying out a bunch of different things, asking a bunch of different kinds of questions to be able to go through whatever the failures, likes and dislikes to get to that thing that you're super, super passionate about. And once you have found that passion, and you could find it, you could know when you're born, you could know later on, you can know when you're in college. Whenever you find that passion, then just full steam ahead.
Yeah.
And be relentless in in pursuing it, getting better at it, being a craftsman or craftswoman,
Yes.
craftsperson.
Cross they them.
Crafts they them, right? Be curious to try to be excellent in that craft. Curious to find what that is, and then be curious to try to be excellent in it. And I think that doesn't require money. I think that you can YouTube University.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that's their major setback, and they're like, I can't fund this.
Right. People, people think that you need money is a barrier for a lot of things, but you don't need money to be a better writer.
True.
Right. Like that is
Just
free.
write every day.
Exactly. You don't
Practice.
You don't need money to learn how to craft a story. You don't need money to write music.
Yeah.
To make music.
That's true.
You don't whatever.
People would wait till I need to be in the stew or but no, you could literally just start in your room. Yeah.
Right. And finding those moneyless ways to still be getting better at what you do, I think is an important thing to be able to have. When I graduated in 2020,
Wow.
Josh and I both graduated in 2020. Yeah.
Dang, you were class of 2020.
Yeah.
Going to the wolves.
Yeah. So there's something happened in 2020. I don't know if y'all remember it. It was called the Rona.
The lockdown.
The lockdown. And so I thought I was going to have a job out of college. I didn't have a job.
I think we all thought that.
I think we all thought we were going to have a job out of college. Thought we all going to have all these things just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so I was at home. And I was writing a short film that I really wanted to shoot in that summer, but nothing was happening during that summer. And so for me, the only way I could keep myself sane was to continually try to work on building to shoot that movie. So that was still trying to build up a team with my producing partner, trying to go and scout and build shot lists and eventually try to figure out who might star in the movie. And I was doing all these things from my home in San Jose.
Yeah.
And that was just but that was just my way of being I don't want, I don't have an internship, I don't have a job, but I still have this idea for this movie. And if I can go and try to make this movie, then, I'm sure that'll be worthwhile experience for me to have. And so I just said I'm not doing anything, but let's figure out something to do within my means.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
That's 100% important, because I think during lockdown, it just showed you what people did with their time. And it's were you on, just playing video games or, working on yourself, working on your craft.
Right.
And I think now you're seeing the results of that, of like people who did work on their crafts just
Right.
continuing like to get even better at that.
Yeah.
You know? And then there's people who just are starting. But
Right.
just start, you know, just do it like Nike.
Just do it.
Because if you don't, you won't have anything to showcase other people to then want to work with you.
Exactly.
You're only counting against yourself
Yes.
at that point. You know, just
Exactly.
get something out,
Yeah.
just get your ideas out,
Yeah.
and then build off of that.
Yeah, because you're not gonna be the best at it.
No.
Like, you have to learn. You have to start
And
somewhere.
people who we consider the best, maybe not even are the best.
That's true.
They just got lucky. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
It's all about
Luck plays-
circumstance, situation, how prepared you are for opportunity when it comes. Some people just unfortunately never get that opportunity, but at least prepare for it.
Never
And that's
missed
only
an
going to set you up for success. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
100%.
God, guys. This is
Old
amazing.
heads, you
Just
know.
gems.
Old head stuff.
Wise souls, you know. Okay, well, thank you guys for an amazing episode.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
I
having
think
us.
literally,
It's been great.
Favorite episode. You guys killed it.
You'll say that in next week's episode.
Well, Faith, and I say that. No, literally, I say that literally every episode. No, like I literally, you're gonna hear this in every episode, but I really mean it. I love all my guests. I love you all equally. So,
Favorite episode so far.
so far. Period. That part. It's okay, Faith. I love you too.
Yeah, she was on the episode.
She was on
That's
episode too. It's okay.
Sorry.
Where can they find you guys? What's the Instagrams, the TikTok, YouTube, you know, everything, Twitter, I don't know.
Everything for
X, I
me.
guess.
Everything for me is it's Jasper Ross, ITS Jasper Ross.
Period.
That's on everything. And
On everything on your mama.
On every
mamas.
on my mama.
on everything. On everything. It's Jasper Ross.
Okay. You can find me. My Instagram is at Jamal_Sutton. Jamal's my middle name,
Oh.
so that is why.
Okay, it's like good to know. It's like,
You're like,
Yeah, you're like, wait, who is this guy? At
that's the next movie.
Jamal_Sutton.
Who's Jamal?
Right. Who's this Jamal guy? And then you can keep track of the things that I do on my website, allofasuddenproductions.com. And those are probably the best places to find me. Don't go on Twitter. Don't
Me
find me on TikTok.
or TikTok. Literally.
Find me on Instagram. Find my website.
Yes. Make sure you guys follow them and definitely support their movie.
Yes.
It's amazing. And that's it for this episode of Be You. I love you guys. Make sure
Love
you guys
y'all.
subscribe, like,
Like.
comment. Support is free. Free 99.
Free 99.
99.
Yeah. And last but not least, don't be afraid to be you. Peace.